Red light cameras are going in. Why a hefty fine is not the only risk traffic law violators are facing.
Plus, we have new details about the change in education requirements for future CPAs.
And happening tonight, local leaders are hammering out a plan to bring hospital and emergency care back to the Ridge.
Covering Northern California. You're watching Action News Now. Coverage you can count on.
The City of Chico and the Chico Police Department is installing red light cameras at intersections that they're calling high risk.
That's right. Action News Now reporter Jerry Olenin takes us to a few of those locations and hears from both supporters and critics about the plan.
This coffee stand on the corner of Mangrove and East 9th Avenues has seen its share of chaos. Owner Kylie Sherber says the intersection outside her door is one of Chico's busiest and most dangerous.
People run the reds, they fly through it. The number of accidents that we've seen here is crazy.
Soon, cameras will be watching this intersection, recording drivers who run red lights and issuing steep fines.
I think it's a great idea. Anything to get people to be a little more aware at this intersection, I think would be great.
Chico Police are installing cameras at 5 locations citywide to reduce crashes and improve safety. According to Vera Mobility, which runs the program, 84% of drivers ticketed by cameras don't reoffend. But not everyone is a fan. Some call it an invasion of privacy. Balancing safety and privacy isn't easy, but in Chico, safety is getting the green light. In Chico, Jerry Olenin, Action News Now.
Under both California and federal law, drivers do not have a reasonable expectation of privacy in public, meaning your car can legally be observed and recorded. Each intersection will be marked clearly with signs, though, to alert drivers that the cameras are in use. The first intersection will be at 9th and Mangrove, which we saw in that report, and it's tentatively scheduled to take effect on October 30th. Violators will have a 30-day grace period from the date of installation before formal citations will be handed out.
Nearly 7 years after the Camp Fire damaged and closed the town's Paradise Town's only hospital, the town council is looking into ways to improve healthcare access for people living on the Ridge. And Action News Now reporter Bea Barbosa is live now from the Paradise Town Hall, where that meeting will be taking place tonight to discuss a healthcare plan. So Bea, this new plan could mean progress for healthcare and the access to it on the Ridge, right?
Yes, Alan, I'm outside Paradise Town Hall, where inside council members are considering a draft of the Strategic Healthcare Recovery Plan. That is happening right now, that meeting where they are considering this plan. And the plan comes after Abaris, a consulting firm hired by the town, completed a year-long study looking at healthcare and gaps in coverage for those on the Ridge. The nearly 100-page plan gives recommendations for the town to implement. I spoke with Paradise Recovery and Economic Development Director Colette Curtis about what this plan entails. She told me it provides data about healthcare on the Ridge, something healthcare providers had asked for in the past, but that the town did not have until now. Curtis says having it helps the town back up the claim that there is a need for increased services here. Curtis says while the plan won't open a hospital right now, it will help start the necessary steps to one day be able to.
Not only does it go over kind of an inventory of what we have now, it also discusses what a community of our size can kind of reasonably expect when it comes to healthcare, and also identifies gaps in those coverage based on the Camp Fire, based on current conditions, just within rural healthcare in general. And there are recommendations made in the plan, and so council will have a chance to look at those recommendations. They don't need to take any action on those tonight. Tonight really is just to accept the plan. And then moving forward, if council wants to take action on any of those recommendations, we can look into that and potentially take that action.
Some of the recommendations the plan outlines for the next 5 years include incentives for healthcare organizations considering expanding services, working with Adventist Health Clinic to expand its hours, and changing Adventist Health's clinic license with the state to become an urgent care. The plan was funded with $75,000 from the town's general fund and another $75,000 from the Adventist Health Feather River Foundation, a charitable organization separate from Adventist Health. Curtis also told me that while it's sad for her to think about the birthday place being gone, that's where she gave birth to 2 of her kids, she told me she wants to focus now on how the town moves forward. Reporting live in Paradise, Bea Barbosa, Action. Action News Now.
Thank you for that report, Bayana. The plan provides recommendations for the town to take action on or over the course of the next 15 years.
The Butte County Board of Supervisors made several key decisions today. Supervisors approved appointments to the Library Advisory Board and 2 reclamation districts. They also extended the shelter crisis declaration in Butte County. And a new ordinance amends the county code to adopt the 2025 California Building Standards. Additionally, they approved a lease agreement with Enlo for office space in Chico to support behavioral health operations.
New tonight, the suspect in a double murder in Reading will undergo evaluation to determine whether to see whether he is competent to stand trial. Police say Jesse Penta called them last month saying he shot and killed his mother, Chastity Milenovitz, and his brother, Anthony Penta, and then in court pleaded not guilty during his arraignment. He'll be back in court November 18th. Doctors will share the results of the evaluation then.
A suspect is in custody accused in a violent sexual assault in Anderson. Shasta County Sheriff's deputies arrested 42-year-old Mitchell Wayne French today at his home on Jason Court. Detectives say French assaulted a woman near Balls Ferry Road and Ash Creek Road in Anderson after meeting her at a local business. The victim was so badly hurt that she needed emergency surgery. Charges include kidnapping and sexual penetration with force.
Now a live look from the Alert California Jarbo Gap camera. That is a beautiful scene right there, Haley.
It really paints the picture, though.
Yeah.
Right? It does.
It does.
It's
sure.
Cold, rainy. Howie's been telling us about the wet weather moving through, and apparently in the Jarbo Gap area, we're seeing some of that moisture.
Yeah, if you look at the radar, that's where it's a high concentration of storm activity. Also get there in a second. I'll start off to the west because North Mountains and in this area, Coastal Range, remember how heavy the rain was? Not today. The storms have moved further off towards the east. And if you look somewhere in the Jarbo Gap area, all around here, you are seeing areas of heavy rain. You get up to about 6,000 feet, you're seeing snow. You get above 6,500 to 7,000 feet, you're seeing heavy snow with those winter storm warnings down to the southwest. But these storms are pulling away and weakening. So the heaviest of the rain has moved off. Here's our temperatures. Again, though, staying well below average with the cloud cover, the cooler air with the rain hitting the ground and cooling us. And that's the case for another day or so. That'll change a little breezy, not quite 36-mile-per-hour winds though that we had just yesterday. I talked about those winter storm warnings. Those go until 5 o'clock in the morning as these storms start to pull away. But then we'll talk about our dry off and our warm up.
Okay, thanks, Howie.
Well, we have new developments about a Glenn County tax rate change. Today, the Board of Supervisors voted to increase the amount that most farmers pay in property taxes by 10%. So this applies specifically to Glenn County farmers who are getting a reduced property tax rate under the state's Williamson Act, which cut their rate slightly, provided they commit to not developing their land in a way that's not used for agriculture. We told you yesterday that this applies to most Glenn County farmers. The county has implemented this 10% increase in the past, but they did give farmers a bit of a break from it for a couple of years due to drought-related hardships. Now, we also have a correction to make on this story. Yesterday, we reported that farmers did not have to pay any property taxes under the Williamson Act, which is not the case.
Reading police are investigating a morning crash that sent a woman to the hospital. It happened 11:30 a.m. near the Tri-Counties Bank on Hilltop Drive. Police say the driver of a white sedan hit a woman who was walking there. They say that she had non-life-threatening injuries. Officers say there was no crime committed, so no one received a citation. And Reading police are still searching for a suspect who they say ran off on foot after a pursuit. This ended at North Market Street and Riverside Drive about 10 this morning. Police say that there were initial reports that a suspect escaped into the waters of the Sacramento River, but that turned out to be unfounded. A police dog was called in to help in the search. We're still working to find out why the chase started in the first place.
New at 6, firefighters on the Plymouth National Forest are conducting pile burns this week across the Beckworth and Feather River Ranger districts. Crews plan to treat about 50 acres near Conklin Park and Lake Davis and another 80 acres around the Little Grass Valley Recreation Area. Visibility on roads nearby may be affected early in the mornings and late evenings as the smoke settles. So if you're driving through, just be careful around fire equipment and smoky areas.
New at 6, drivers in Reading should expect traffic control over the next few weeks as PG&E replaces a gas main. Work will impact Springer Drive south of Windscape Court and Whistling Drive between Churn Creek Road and Crouse Drive. The City of Reading says work starts this Thursday, and will go through November 7th. Lane closures will happen between 8 in the morning and 5 in the evening. The city is urging drivers to use caution or take alternate routes.
Chico State students dive into real-world construction at a local school. We'll show you where.
Plus, the Butte Environmental Council hits the big 5-0. We'll learn about their anniversary gala.